Hello, everybody, and welcome to my first stream here. Something I'm going to give a try, see how this goes. I'm currently working on an 8-bit retro video game cover of Marillion's Garden Party, and going to show you a little bit of the process. First, a little bit about me. My name is Jason Erlenborn, and my music project goes by the name of Jace of Bass. And I've done various prog music originals as well as the 8-bit covers, as well as jingles and background music for all occasions. But today we're focusing on one of these 8-bit covers, and that would be of Marillion's Garden Party that I have working on. And I'm already kind of been going at it for a little bit here, so I was going to start by showing you a little bit about what we have so far. So let's go ahead and play some of it for you to hear. So far I've written mostly up, if you're familiar with the song, up until Mark Kelly's keyboard solo. So after I show you a few things I've done already, we're going to start working on that section today. But let's go ahead and show you some of the different channels. First, on all of my retro video game covers up to this point, I've used the same plugin to create all the 8-bit and chiptune sounds, and that is the Mini Bit by Audio Thing. And I've got that up on the screen right now, which has given me a vast library of great presets to try to recreate pretty much any of the old classic NES games that I used to play. And so in most cases, it'll be this, unless I'm using a direct wave of a sound from a specific game. And there's, I think, one or two examples of that in this specific one. So let's go ahead and show you the first one I have. It's just the straight up. I marked it as organ, but it's more of just the straight synth that is going on through most of Garden Party. And I have that just using the basic 8-bit saw wave to create that sound. So I'll give you a little bit of, by itself is just the first thing you hear. At which point we will add the lead keys, which again, this time I am using the square wave just to be a little bit different, and so it sticks out a little bit better and not as sharp sounding. So let's go ahead and add the lead keys to it. Then at that point we add just a straight up, they have a nice bass preset that you hear on a lot of the classic NES games. They have it just as classic bass in the factory section of the presets. You can go to bass and just choose the classic bass, and it'll sound like this. So we've got pretty much the the groove established. Now let's get the vocals in here. So for a lot of the vocals on different ones, I've been using the same preset on the mini bit. And here I have it marked as Fish, as the lead singer of Marillion at the time of Garden Party was simply known as Fish. And for the vocals, I've been using the Sanfona preset, which is actually under their chip tune orchestra that they created. And we'll take a look at how, or take a listen at least to how that sounds. Now with the rest of the music. And then that pretty much takes care of everything in the verse that you're going to hear. So the next part is what I call the talking chorus, where it's literally just Fish kind of melodically talking certain things. And for that, had kind of a hard time trying to find an 8-bit sound for that section. And this is what I've got so far. This one is still up for debate, so I haven't come across this as the final. So we're jumping to the first chorus here. And the sound I'm using for Fish's talking passes is called the Bansuri, also under the chip tune orchestra preset portion of the mini bit. So that's the tone I've liked for the talking portion so far that I've come across, but like I said, that's still up for debate. Let's hear it with the rest of the chorus instruments. A couple things we have. 2 sets of chorus bells, one at 1 octave, then another set another. Now the octave up. Go back again, and then there is some bowed bass going on in the original version, and in this I'm actually using a chiptune cello to create that, and this is super rich and realistic sounding, so but they do have it as part of their chiptune orchestra. But let's take a listen to the what I call the bowed bass, because that's what it is in the actual piece. But the cello worked fine for what we're doing. So, like I was saying, for chiptune, very realistic sounding and very rich sounding. So I might later in the mixing process try to actually lessen the richness of the sound to have more of a natural 8-bit sound to it. And here's the whole chorus together. Then the "Oh no, oh God, not again" lyrics. Another one I'm still trying to find the right sound for, but let's go back to that. That's 85. So this is literally just fish yelling, "Oh God, not again!" And for that, I think I just went with the 8-bit, what they call is the guitar wave. Oh no, I went with the duck wave actually, because I think it was a little bit more harsher in tone, which I was going for. But I would actually even like more harsher tone, something worth playing around. So possibly adding some distortion later. So here's "Oh no, oh God, not again." Gonna come up now. So just yelling that over there, back with the rest of the band. Then the introduction to the second verse here brings a couple new sounds out. Some of the first ones that I had to use some automation on. So the first one is just going to be the swelling synth. And for that, I actually put as the channel name A Legend, because that's actually the pad name that they put under their factory preset pads, A Legend. And below you'll see I kind of have it, with each note I have it automated to swell the note like you hear in the original song. Start right at 90 there. And what happens at the end of that in the original song is an orchestra hit. So to do the orchestra hit, I used one of the built-in sequencers that the mini bit actually comes up with. And I have that under sequenced fast ringing here. So we're going with just another saw wave here. But this time, they actually have the sequencer built in. And I've got it just pitch-based and set to 30-second triplets, so it's really fast to create kind of a ringing sound, and has that kind of orchestral hit that you would get from like a normal synth sound. But you can see the different pitches settings I have on the sequencer here. So let's hear what that sounds like. So this comes after each swell, just like in the original. So let's go ahead and leave the swells in this. So you can see a very fast sequencer there. So if I were to slow down the sequence, let's change it to let's go to eighth notes. So doing it at those 30-second triplets gives more of the ringing style sound that I was looking for. So we'll go ahead and set it back to that. And let's go ahead and add the swell before it back in. And this time with the rest of the band. That continues to go on through the rest of the verse now, just like in the original. And at this part, you can hear the first wave that I imported from an actual classic NES game. So this is the part, if you're familiar with Garden Party. Basically, the lyrics preceding this part is quoting Chaucer, and then it goes to someone actually reciting Chaucer, like the Canterbury Tales or something like that. And I was trying to figure out how I wanted to recreate the person quoting Chaucer using an 8-bit sound, and I went back to the game Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, excuse me, and went to Little Mac, the main character in between rounds when he's talking to his trainer. It sounds a little something like this. Sorry for the delay. Here we go. So I inserted that as the reciting of Chaucer 8-bit mode. And later, in the next part of the verse, there's another person reciting something with a slightly lower voice. So in that case, I used the trainers. When the trainer talks back to Little Mac, I used that 8-bit quote. And that goes a little like this. So those are the two imported waves that I used that aren't coming from the mini bit. But like I said, both of those are taken from Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. Let's go ahead and hear them back with the band again. Second quote. And we're back to the second chorus now, similar to the first talking chorus. And that leads us right up to the keyboard solo, which we're going to begin creating that section today. And I'm going to go ahead and jump right into that. So I'm going to go ahead and just start with the bass part behind it. And in most cases, as I'm writing these, I'm usually programming by hand, unless if there's some really obscure rhythms that might just be easier to play in with a MIDI keyboard instead. The one case I did do that was the talking fish part, since that's kind of a freestyle talking part. It was easier just to play in the different pitches instead of programming it. The bass is pretty straightforward, so I'm going to just go ahead and program by hand the bass part during the keyboard solo section. We'll do it 8 measures at a time. So I bring up our MIDI programming option here in Cubase, and all the pitches even before you go ahead and start programming everything. And then I'm just going to take a listen to hear the chords that lead into it. Let's go back to about 165, measure 165 here. Okay. So yep, we're staying right in the D there like I was thinking. So we've got some syncopated parts right off the top here. Play back just that first part. Let's make that last note a little bit longer. Boom, boom, boom. And actually, I'm not going to do that because I have to add 1/16th note going up to the next note. Boom. Make sure I got the rhythm right on that. I'll play back. Nope, too fast. So let me switch those 16ths to 8th notes. And this is kind of the regular process as I'm writing a lot of trial and error. Let's go ahead and add. Oops. Then we'll do these as 8th notes. Let's go ahead and just switch it to an 8th note grid here.